I want to actually challenge all the investors and the current investing process. The current model is you find the entrepreneur, you find the idea with the entrepreneur, and then you invest the money and you try to flip that and turn it into some value. There is actually a new trend going on with the Somewhere Brothers and the Rocket Internet people, where you actually bring in the entrepreneur first with entrepreneurs in residence, throw them a playbook, here's the idea, you do this really fast, and then we flip that around in 48 countries all at the same time. So what do we need to evolve as investors, where we follow the traditional model of the entrepreneur, the idea, the first round funding, second round funding, and wasting all this time when the process is actually has actually evolved. Well, I'm saying this as a former Rocket employee, and I've seen this executed in various ways, and it seems to be a working model.
I've seen this in Russia as well. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, since you've been a Rocket guy. Are you an entrepreneur or are you an employee? Or what do you want to be? The model works, seemingly. It's unique, great for the Zambers. They've invented something new. But I would ask myself as an entrepreneur, if I have a vision, if I have a dream, if I have an ambition, and I think I can build something big, does that reconcile well with that model? And if it doesn't, well then for the entrepreneur, this is a decision he has to make. Say, do I put myself under the control of someone else who has undoubtedly been successful, or do I look out for my own fate and go the harder way maybe initially to find funding with angels, with VCs, but be independent, because
my question is not from the entrepreneur's perspective.
Yeah.
From the investor's perspective.
Well, I guess the ensuing.
Do we need to find entrepreneurs?
Do we want to do copycats, for which this model works fantastic, or do we want to really work with original ideas with really independent entrepreneurs? That's the question. If I want to do copycats, that's the best model.
It's a different business plan, right? So, like he said, they are mainly, investing in copycats. They are doing a terrific job destroying people and employing them and firing them a couple of months later. I met many people who luckily went through the process of the Rocket in Turkey, and now they are finally starting their own companies after they saw the other side of the game. It's a different business model. And again, I'm sure they are fantastically successful. They are entrepreneurs, actually, when you think about it. That's their business plan. It is a challenge for us. The biggest challenge for us is they're inflating the salaries in Turkey in a crazy way. And I think they're hurting Turkey because
they do this everywhere, right?
So they inflate the salaries. They spoil people. They create a pseudo market that doesn't really exist. And what you are doing is you're just stealing 6 months of people's time. And
okay, I'm gonna.
Sorry. No. I think it's a very good question, but actually the answer is, for me, very simple. It goes back to backing great people, exceptional people. So we do a combination. We'll kiss lots of frogs and hope a prince or princess arrives by listening to pitches. We'll also study themes where we believe there's an investment opportunity. And we have a network of people that we really like and back, and then we'll bring them in to create companies to do that. So I think it's a combination. You have to do both in today's market, in today's world, but fundamentally it comes down to the same thing, really knowing great people to back.
I think the Rocket topic is a great topic, and I'm personally, look, I've never worked with Rockets. I only have anecdotal knowledge. I've only met those guys once, the founders. But I'm personally in awe of what they've achieved. I think it's phenomenal. I mean, when I look at what they're doing, they take an e-commerce concept, boom, they launch it in 20 countries. I don't think it's 48 countries. I actually think it's 20. but I actually went through the list. You know, I was really interested in looking how they were doing it, and I think it's phenomenal. I think it's great, really. I mean, they're doing something that no one else until now was doing. You know, everyone was very cautious about how to scale e-commerce across borders and so on, and these guys are just doing it. And I think it's great. I mean, I think they attract a certain type of quote-unquote entrepreneur. I mean, typically post-MBA folks who, you know, are excited about doing these things, launching new companies. So it's a kind of a hybrid form of entrepreneurship. It's true that I guess the typical VC fund will really look for very strong, kind of independently minded entrepreneurs who typically will gravitate away from the rocketish type of things, because they're usually the strongest entrepreneurs. They really want to be masters of their own destiny, and you know, and the really strong ones typically they have this kind of way of sometimes even well, you know, they'll have a lot of self-belief. Let's just put it this way. And they won't need other people to kind of inject a self-belief in them or to give them the recipe or whatever. And typically the best entrepreneurs we back are such people. But you know, I think there is room for both. I think the rocket model is phenomenal. It works right now because e-commerce is booming, and there's a need to replicate these models really, really quickly. In a way, it's also a product of its time, I think. It's a matter of timing. So yeah, look, I know there's a lot of also negative feeling about what some you know what they're doing. I'm personally a big fan. I think it's amazing, but I think there's room for both.